Hey, it's your sister Rose. So, in the Alicia Andrews trial today, before the jury came in, it was a showdown. You gotta watch this.
And also as a court's aware, normally jurors never know what the potential sentence is in a case like this. Excuse me, counsel, I would like to finish my argument.
Unfortunately, there is one other matter. Late last night, I became aware of the fact that several of the defense witnesses had been communicating with each other and watching the trial and requesting the witnesses be ordered again to stop communicating with each other and stop watching this televised broadcast.
So I would ask that they, as they're obligated to do when they invoke the rule, advise all of your witnesses, please, not to view what's on court TV.
The way that counsel is speaking to defense, it's been happening since day one. It's very unnecessary.
I know, but here, Ms. White, this is the problem. You invoke the rule of sequestration.
I understand that.
Okay, I'm making a statement. I'm not looking for responses. Okay. All witnesses, it's incumbent upon the lawyers, as the professionals that they are, to tell all of their witnesses as well. You're not to be discussing the case. You're not to be watching it on court TV. And apparently that didn't happen, right? Didn't happen. Inexcusable.
Well, Your Honor,
inexcusable.
If I may respond, we are professionals just like every other attorney in this courtroom. The bigger point that I was making is that the way that Mr. Harmon has been speaking to this side of the table is unprofessional, it's disrespectful. He's done it in front of the jury as well, and there has not been any attempt by the court to intervene in that. It's inappropriate. The rising tone is unnecessary, and it's disrespectful, and it's inappropriate.
Ms. White, we're done.
The record that they've had witnesses outside the courtroom discussing the case with each other, talking about the case, the prosecutors themselves.
Well, you should have brought it to my attention.
So that was a lot. So it all started with the interrogation of Alicia Andrews. Like, defense had issues with how Detective Ramos, who was the lead detective, how he was, talking to Alicia. In a sense, he was pressuring her to speak up, to say what happened. And they didn't like it, especially the fact that when he was telling her, oh, supposedly, because it's a long hour, that she's going to spend the rest of her life in prison if she doesn't say what happened. She had to be honest, say exactly what happened. But of course, she didn't do that. So I think they were the defense don't like Detective Ramos anyway. So they was bringing up issue with that interrogation and bringing up sentencing. Can they even present it to the jury? And as Harmon was explaining, then McLyment, the defense, interrupted him, but he only interrupted him to tell them, say, hey, you're discussing this about Detective Ramos. He's inside. He needs to leave. So they told him to leave. And then Miss Itzmer brought up the fact that she got some information that some of the defense witnesses not only were watching the trial, but also discussing certain things about the trial, which they're not supposed to do, because the defense called for, well, later on you're going to find out, they wasn't supposed to be doing that. And they found out, it seems that the mom of the weapons man, Sean Gathright, was speaking to his mom, and they probably was giving out information on the phone call that showed that, they discussing their testimony, which they're not supposed to do. Especially because the defense was the one that called for the rule of sequestration, where they nobody's supposed to be discussing anything. The fact that they call this rule, nobody's supposed to be discussing everything, and then they did it. And it seems that the defense probably didn't, I just drill it or told them that they're not supposed to do that. Mr. McLyman said that he told that to Sean Gathride's mother, but it didn't look like he said it to the other people. So it looked like these people were sharing what they're gonna say. Tainted, tainted testimony. So so Mr. Harmon came and was like, okay, you guys need to tell all of your witnesses thing. And Bob, what? White did not like that. Mrs. White did not like that. She's like, no. Why is you talking? What's up? Why are you talking to us like this? What's up? You've been doing it. You've been doing it. You're doing it in front of the jury. You've been doing it. What's up? Talk to us like a professional. The way you're talking to us is disrespectful. So White was very emotional. Was very emotional in that sense because maybe she is a lot of stuff that was going on. She never spoke up or whatever, and that was kind of not the time. But anyway, then Mr. McLyman came in, and everybody's not just saying, well, the state witnesses they was doing the same thing too outside the court, and Judge Cisco was like, oh, so why you didn't say anything? Why you didn't say anything? Why you bringing it up now? So it's like a tit for tat, pointing fingers, throwing people under the bus was going on today. Now, of two things, sometimes several things could be the truth at the same time. Yes, the state attorneys may be disrespectful, probably the way they speak to defense, the way they interact with them. They may not be very professional. But also, too, you guys, the defense dropped the ball in not informing, being on top of the witnesses you're going to call and letting them know, hey, you're not supposed to discuss the case. You're not supposed to know what's going on. So your testimony is not tainted. They dropped the ball. So all these things can be, two things can be the truth at the same time. Three things can be the truth at the same time. The defense dropped the ball. And the thing is, the judge wasn't going to address it. She heard about it, but she passed. She's like, okay, we'll deal with it when it's necessary. Okay, the defense, you guys do whatever motion. I mean, the state, you do whatever motion y'all need to be. She wasn't even gonna stay on that. But it's the fact when White got emotional and she's like, you don't be talking to us like that. That's what White said, and so the judge was like, "Oh, so y'all dropped the ball, and now you want to get mad? You're not taking accountability for not doing your job as the professionals that you are." She says, "Throw it in their face, professionals. Y'all supposed to be some professionals, but y'all not doing what professionals supposed to do. Inform their witnesses on what to do and what not to do." That's why you prep your witnesses. That's why you keep on contact with them to see if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Of course, you can't force people to do that, but you know that you knew that that's what you did. But obviously, they couldn't even say that because he's like, oh, he think he said it to Sean Gathride's mother. He didn't say it to the other witnesses, and they have other witnesses that they need to call. But like I said, the judge wasn't even gonna, because when it first was brought up, she was just, I was like, okay, we'll deal with it. It's when Miss White brought up and she's saying, girl, you ain't gonna get away. What y'all did was inexcusable. Inexcusable. Don't even try to come up with excuses. Don't even try to deflect. Don't even try to bring up stuff that you should have been brought up. Because if you felt that the state, you know, talks to you in an unprofessional manner, you could have brought that up to the judge. But then now you want to bring it up just like Mr. McLyman. Now he wants to bring up that the state's witnesses was talking outside. You should have been brought that up. Because y'all was holding out. Oh, okay, we're not gonna say nothing. But the minute that the state got something that they could use against y'all, they did it. That they did it. So y'all was, and then y'all want to talk and say, oh, they do it too. Don't talk to us like that. Well, the judge says no excuses, no excuses whatsoever. And the waste they literally spent like almost over an hour with all this back and forth and stuff like that. The jury need to decide what needs to be done with this young lady. Whatever is going to be done to her, that's what needs to be decided. All these little uh, um arguing over semantics is wasting time. And all this happened within like the first hour, and it's like 7 more hours to go because it was like over 8 hours, almost 9 hours. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.